Yo, what's up? And welcome to another episode of Director's Talk. Today, we will be discussing framing, the importance of it, and how by itself, it's a mechanism for telling stories. Years ago, before films are what they are now, there was a thing called silent films, no dialogue. And you had to portray your emotions and feelings without talking. And then it's up to the cameraman, the director, to actually fill in all the blanks of the storytelling by the movement of the camera or the framing of the shot. A lot of people don't realize this, but framing is an important part of storytelling. For instance, here's a little trick. Take your hand, put it in front of your face, focus on your hand, and look through your fingers, but still look at your hand. Your hand's in focus, but everything behind it, between your fingers, is blurry. Now reverse it, same thing. Concentrate looking through your fingers and not your actual hand, and your hand becomes blurry and everything behind it becomes in focus. It's beautiful. I love Asian filming styles better than I do American filmmakers because they use every bit of the frame. They take every inch of it and fill it with much information as possible. If there's a conversation, boom, it's on their faces. And really good directors from America tend to use that style in their filmmaking. Again, it's a mechanism for telling a story. Everybody's so used to dialogue, filling in all the blank spaces to tell a story. Well, without dialogue, your eyes sees things that you normally wouldn't pay attention to when you're listening to dialogue. And the importance of framing. For instance, I love things in the foreground and also in the background. I might have something going on way in the background, but in the foreground, I have an object that gets your attention. It's not doing anything. It might be a blunt object, or it might be like a tree branch just moving. But in the background, all the action is taking place and it forces you to pay attention. That's the art of framing. And sometimes you have negative space. You might have a wide shot and you're looking at the sky. You're like, man, I don't need that much sky in this shot. So you edit it down, cut it out, block it, and make it look better. The only time you focus on the sky is like, for instance, the movie Nope. It's about a kaiju that flies around in the sky. So the cameraman purposely less ground shots and more upper shots towards the sky, because that's where the importance of the storytelling is at. Just like Jaws, you spend a lot of time in the water because, well, your antagonist, the shark, is in the water. Less sky shots, more water shots from the boat's perspective. And so it's so fun to tell a story that way. You just get everything out in the open. And sometimes you film everything larger than life. And in the editing room, you dial it back and get what you want. But framing is essential. Again, the movie recently came out by Spike Lee, Highest to Lowest. It's a reenactment of High and Low, the Japanese version. And there's a phone conversation in a regular film. They're listening to a phone conversation and there's 4 people in the room. They're all in the same shot, but they're all doing different things. One's looking like this, the other's like this. One has his head down, the other's like, but all in the same frame. Most American films don't do that. They focus on one person here, then there. Then I'm like, no, get all your action right here. Even when I do videos for YouTube, I take out all the negative space. I like to get in front of the camera. I force you to either look at my eyebrows, forehead, eyeballs, nose, lips, teeth, facial hair, whatever you want to focus on is in your face. I purposely take your attention away from the background. There's nothing back there to look at anyway, so all your focus is here. And I block it so my face fills up the whole screen. And that way we're having a one-on-one personal conversation, or at least I make you think that. It seems more personable than a person who has a wider shot with all this stuff in the background. It's hard to concentrate on what they're saying because you're basically looking back, oh, what kind of movie is that? Oh, they got this. No. And again, your brain realizes it whether you do or not when you're watching a film. Framing, like Brian De Palma is one of my favorite directors who knows how to frame a shot, and he does it masterfully, And again, these are all these techniques that you learn later on in life. Like, man, why do I like this movie so much? Or why does it seem scary? Or why does it seem intimidating? When somebody's in your face and talking, you automatically like, hey, what's going on here? And it come across more intimidating, and it makes you take up all the space, especially if it's a multi-million-dollar movie. You don't want a bunch of negative space. The producers are paying for you to make a film, not film all the scenery where nothing's happening. Your actors, whenever they have a monologue, that's important, is framed differently. It makes you remember. Like Malcolm X, he's on the podium. They cut off half his torso so you see his face and him displaying all that energy in his speech. And it stays in your mind forever. Spectacles like Jurassic Park and things like that, they want the wide shot. They want you to focus on everything. And that's why they have IMAX. Some movies are not made for IMAX, but they put them in IMAX. And it's like, well, this is a waste. I get it. Personally, dialogue, out of the top 3 things, is my least favorite thing to concentrate on. First, I want a great camera, and I want the camera to move and tell its own story. Second of all, framing is my second favorite thing to tell a story. Dialogue is my third and least favorite out of the 3 to focus on. Because anybody can talk and tell a story. Does that make the story better or the movie better? Absolutely not. Like, again, you got to remember how we started out in Hollywood. Silent films. Watch a few and watch the difference of the techniques. And also, Alfred Hitchcock was the master at framing his shots. With that, I want to say thank you for listening. It's been a pleasure as always. I appreciate your time. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, and more importantly, leave your comments down low. And I'm out. Peace. You know the routine. Fade to black.